racing all the cars, boy.
Things are on there. And then you just manhandle it on there.
No, when I came to get them, man, they was in the ditch and they had bushes all the way up to the side, right here.
So let's get after it. Hey y'all, welcome to Wabworks. We are getting the 602 late model ready to go racing. Unfortunately, the races got canceled, so it's going to be a couple weeks before we get to race again, but we still need to work on this. Last time we were racing, we had some carburetor or fueling issues. We've been looking it over, and I think I know what the problem is. So let's dive into it. We're going to have to get the tires off, get the fenders off, and so we can get to the engine and start working on it and trying to solve our fueling issue. Let me show you. So we were walking around and looking at everything, and I think this right here is going to be a problem. When I zip tied these up to keep them out of the way of everything, it has this fuel line. This is the inlet fuel line. It has this squeezed about half off. There's also some cracking in some of these hoses, and we're going to replace that. And it could be sucking air through those cracks, so we're going to get those replaced. Also, this harness for my fuel pressure gauge broke, so I got to replace that. Also, these wires broke, and this is the sending unit, the engine water temperature, so we're gonna have to get that replaced. So we're gonna get started on this, so let's get after it. Also, another thing that we're going to do is I had this angled tapered carburetor spacer on there, which it worked out well, but I think I'm going to go ahead and put this one back on there. It's a square, it's not tapered at all. Get the floats adjusted, and we might go back with this one if I don't like the flat one, but I want to try the flat one again. I had it on there at one time, and it seemed to work fine, but I do like the tapered one better because of the way the attitude of the car goes. It makes the carburetor get unlevel when you got a flat one on there, but I think we're going to be okay. I'm going to try it, but we'll take that one with us just in case we have to swap it out at the track. As always, like when you change the carburetor, I'm going to put a new gasket on there, but when you got a new gasket, always spray it down with WD-40. That helps with a couple things. It helps you know, kind of wash any kind of dust or debris off of there a little bit. There shouldn't be any on there. It's a brand new gasket, but it lubricates this where the carburetor won't stick to it, because as you notice in our videos, we're on and off with this carburetor a lot. And also it helps seal the carburetor when you put the WD-40 on there. And if you notice on this old gasket, it didn't stick anywhere, but it sealed very good because it had that WD-40 soaked into it. So that's what we're going to do with this one. Spray it down with WD-40 real good, and then we're going to put that other carburetor back on it. So these hoses, they're press-on fitting hoses. So all I got to do is cut the old ones off, reuse the fittings, put new hose on there, and then we should be good to go. And what you want to do here is make sure you don't cut your finger off when you're doing this, but go all the way to the top of the hose, and you can cut a slit in it very carefully. Try to get all the way to the top and all the way down to the fitting, and then you should be able to split it off just like that and reuse that fitting. So do that to that fitting and this fitting, this one and this one, and then we'll start putting the new hoses on. We'll lightly hold it down with that. That's where I scratched it. Lightly hold the fitting down, and then take this, spray it a little WD-40, spray it in here, and then just manhandle it on there all the way down till it quits. Bam, on there. Some people like to put a hose clamp on there, but I don't never do it. I ain't never had no issues with it leaking or anything like that, so I just leave it like that. It's good and tight on there. Now I got to go get the measurement that I need for my other one. So what I do is I'll put this fittings, both of these fittings, snug them up to where they're going to be, and then measure and cut. Where's my cutter? Why?
With the razor?
Yeah. Measure once, cut twice. Ain't that what they say? Hello.
That's what it says.
Is it?
Yeah. I talked to him yesterday.
Is he coming over here?
I hope so.
Oh,
What?
my blade. I lost my blade.
Well, I thought you just...
No, no.
I was watching the road.
What?
Sounds like he's here.
All right.
Oh, there's Jeffrey. Oh boy, hey, they got something for you.
What? They need help.
What kind of trouble y'all bringing in?
Something about, I don't know, she went in the ditch last night.
Went in the ditch.
Yeah, it's that hydroplane that went in the ditch last night.
Then what?
And I guess it's shaking bad now or something. They just, I'm not sure.
All right, hold on. Let me do this, and then we'll go look at it.
And then I need to hook a computer. You got a computer I can hook up to my
I got a
car?
code reader, yes.
Yeah. Cause I don't know what to do. Yeah, they did like a 360 and flew in a ditch.
I did 360s, went down an 8-foot ditch, 40 miles per hour backwards, like, and 5 feet away from a tree, 5 foot away from a pond. I didn't even realize there was a pond there, but JJ said it was.
Fixing all the cars, boy.
All right. So we got this one done. Don't have to take a break. Thank you. Hold it like that. So I got that one line done, and I'm gonna get the other line, but I gotta take a break right now. My nephew, his fiance, ran into a ditch, I guess. Hydroplane.
It was pretty bad.
And now her car seems to be doing something. What's wrong with the car, babe?
We just think it's out of alignment, but we want to make sure nothing's bent under it. And
Oh, okay.
the bumper popped out, but it's popped, like, surprisingly, we did 3 hydroplanes.
360s?
360s, and then, like, went down an 8-foot ditch backwards, like, 40 miles per hour, like, over a mile, Rex
Yeah.
says.
Well, probably about here to that tree lines out there. They
Going backwards, like, pretty far.
Yeah.
And we walked away unharmed with just the
Well, that's
popped out
good.
bumper.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, let me
your
show you
bumper's a
the
little
pictures.
popped up.
And then I went.
Let me show you the picture.
They called me to get them up the ditch at like 8. And when
No,
I started
it's not.
driving at 9.
That's the video.
Yeah, that could have been way worse for sure.
This was like the pull out, like where JJ
Yeah.
had to come get us.
No, she just looked up and went in that ditch.
Well,
Yeah, Jeffrey down there, like it was pretty bad.
So who was driving? I think it, yeah. I know who was driving. Where's the other wheels at? Yeah. It hit the other side for sure.
It was all on this side, only on that side.
No, when I came to get them, man, they was in the ditch and they had bushes all the way up to the side, like here.
Good gracious.
Knock it down and pull it out.
Well, JJ, and JJ told me it loses number.
I bet. So what I'm thinking is she just got in that ditch and got mud all in the tires and inside the rims, compacted in there. There's mud and grass and dirt everywhere in that car. So I think it just got in the tires and the wheels. Not in the tires, but it got in the wheels and then got the wheels out of balance is why it's starting to shake and rattle. Because when I drove it just a few minutes ago, I let go of the steering wheel and it tracks true. So I don't think it's bent or out of alignment or anything like that. I think she just got that mud and dirt and grass stuck in her wheels, and that's what's causing the shake. So they're out there now. They're going to be pressure washing it, and we'll see if that fixes the problem, and then maybe get back to the race car. So nephew's got something wrong with his car too, so we're going to check it out and put the code reader on there and see if we can figure out what's going on with his. Good Lord, son. Yeah, you know they got car washes all over Albany, Georgia.
No, that happened last night.
Oh. All right, let's see here. Cylinder misfire detected.
That's what I'm supposed to do for something misfiring.
So that's 1 of 7. Evaporative emission system leak detected. Don't worry about that. Evap. Cylinder 1 misfire. Evap. Catalyst system efficiency below threshold bank. But I'm going to clear all these codes and then we'll pop the hood and take a look and see if we see anything crazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these nuts off. He already got this one off, but he couldn't get this one. Pull this off and see if we can look down there and see what the problem is. Nephew, where'd you get that hat?
Amazon.
Amazon. I like it. Looks cool.
I might as well get one.
Might as well get a haircut too while you at it.
Yeah.
Oh, so these coil packs, they're not spark plugs, they're coil packs that go straight down in there.
That's another thing I was thinking, it could be a coil pack.
It could, but what I would do, the first thing I would do, just pull all these off and pull them. Well, not right now, but you're gonna have to get some spark plugs probably. Yeah. But if you want to look at the spark plugs right quick, we could pull them out.
Yeah, at least to know what it is.
Yeah. So just pull that one off first, and then I'll get a spark plug socket and we'll pull the spark plug out and look at it.
Pull that shit out.
Is it hot?
Yeah.
You want, hold this and you want to see if I can try to get it. Oh, that might be your problem. That's broken.
Oh, then that might be the issue.
Well, let's pull this anyway. Good gracious, man. That's not good. Yeah, we can try to make that work.
Yeah,
but
as long as it goes in.
This is probably your misfire right here. Them don't look good. They look chewed up and beat up and burn up, so. All right, so we got my nephew button up and we got his fiance button up with her car, and we're gonna try to finish his fuel system up, and we're probably gonna call it a night. So let's get after that. So we got the little line made. We're gonna have to make the big line now. I'm gonna start with this fitting, and then I'll put the other fitting on, and I get my measurement just like we did last time, and get all that put together. So we're gonna get that done, and then we'll get the fueling system done, get the car crunk up, and see how it sounds. All right, I think we got everything buttoned up on the carburetor, and we're about ready to bust this thing off. Trying to spin it over so it'll get some fuel up in here. Keep on spinning it over. I think we got her all set up and adjusted out and sounding pretty good. So we'll see how she goes when we get to race it again, if we ever get to race it again. So I think that's going to do it for tonight. We got a little bit behind. We got a little distracted with my nephew and his fiance and their vehicles, but that's okay too. I don't mind helping them out at all. I appreciate that they think of me when they need some help, because I don't mind helping at all. And my brother actually, he came over and helped too. He was out there washing the mud off of the tires and everything else. So but I think that's going to do it for today. And we'll get back after it tomorrow. See you guys then. Okay, I'm back, and it's not the next day. It's actually a couple days later. I got a little bit distracted helping some of my kinfolk fix on their vehicles, but while we were doing that, I did do a little bit of work to the car, and we've marked up a bunch of stuff off the list. The maintenance is done. We changed the carb, repaired the fuel line, we got to rivet the deck still, oil change is done, transmission is done. We got to clean the filters and swap the tires around and fill it with fuel, and we'll be done. And I'm on a bit of a time crunch because I leave tomorrow going out of town for work, and I'm not going to be back until next Friday. And we race, hopefully, fingers crossed if it doesn't get canceled again, we race next Saturday. So we're going to have to get this thing done today. And let's get started. And also, I'm going to apologize in advance. I have got to turn on some fans around here. I haven't even done anything yet, and I'm already sweating. So if you hear some background noise, I apologize, but we're just going to have to deal with it today because we have to have some air moving down here. It's steaming yet again down in South Georgia. So if you hear some background noise, sorry about that. So on a dirt track, I run a reusable, washable air filter. It's a K&N filter, 3-inch, and I run this outerwears pre-filter. Dirt tracks get pretty dirty, so we run that so we can wash the dirt out of it and get it clean. And what I use is this K&N cleaner that comes in a kit most of the time, but they never give you enough oil with the kit, so I always get just the cleaner, and I get this bigger can of oil so I can get the oil put back on there. But when you're cleaning this thing, it's got to be very clean, but it's got to be very, very dry when you go to put the oil back in it. And if you don't put the oil in it, it's not going to filter any dirt, because oil is what actually cleans the air coming through the filter. Top and the bottom, I do it just like I'm doing dishes. I got this sink here in my shop, and fill it up with soapy water, clean these up. And these also are for the crankcase. These are the crankcase vent filters, and it's got an outer wear on that as well. And these just clean with soapy water and then dry them out, completely dry, and put them back on there. It's just a vent, and it don't require any oil or anything like that. Just slap them on there. So we get those cleaned up, and we'll start with the air filter because it needs to be washed out, cleaned up, and completely dry so I can put the oil in it. And so I'm going to start with that, and then I'll fill the sink up with water, get the rest of this stuff washed, and start letting it dry out. So the first thing you want to do is completely douse this thing down with this cleaner, and it's kind of like a soapy type cleaner, and make sure you get all the pleats. And I'm going to let it sit for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to wash it out with water. You don't want to use compressed air or anything like that because it's going to mess up the filter element. So we're just going to get it doused down with this cleaner real quick, and then we'll start washing it out and get all the dirt and grime out of it. And this says that it dissolves road grime. Of course, it gets rid of dirt and everything like that, so it usually works pretty good. I have used Dawn dish detergent and just soapy water to clean these, but this seems to work really good. I think this has got some more chemicals in there that help get everything good and dissolved down. Kind of strong if you breathe it in, so make sure to use it in a well ventilated area too. Of course, before you start spraying it down with the cleaning solution, you want to make sure you knock all the big clumps of dirt or grime out of the pleats. You want to make sure you get it good and soaked in and go completely around this filter. Starts wearing on the old squeeze trigger finger there. Make sure it gets all the oils and everything completely clean. Yeah, don't breathe it. Fill this sink up with water. That way I can kind of jostle this around and agitate it and get that dirt out of there. And then I'll use this to completely wash through it. So what I do is I'll sling this excess water out, and then I'll hang it somewhere in a shiny spot, and I'll let it dry, completely dry. If you look right here, there's still a little bit of staining in it, but I ain't worried about that. It is clean. So if you notice all the dirt and everything that came out of that filter, that's a lot of dirt. It needed to be cleaned for sure. And then that residual oil is from where we got it sprayed down. But let's take this thing and see if we can find a dry spot for it to hang out in the sun for a little while. So I got it hanging out on my camper. I think that's a great spot for it. It's got plenty of sunlight. It can dry. It might take a while, but we're gonna leave it out here for a little while, a couple hours maybe, and let it completely, absolutely dry, and then we'll start oiling it back down. Next on the list will be these crankcase ventilation filters, and I'm gonna pull these skirts off real quick, and then I'm gonna fill this up with soapy water, and I'm gonna just hand wash all of these and get everything cleaned up, and then we just set them out to dry. Get some water in this thing. And start washing these by hand. Okay, you do this stuff as just regular maintenance, because you're where's my other one? You want everything to be working properly to try to prevent mechanical breakdowns from happening on the track. Right now onto the pre-filter for the air filter on the carburetor, and we're going to get this good and soaked and jostle it around. And then what I like to do on this is, cause see it kind of got to get in there pretty good. So I'll take some soap and put it on my hand, and then just wash this by hand all the way around. And if you guys know a better way to do it, comment down below. Let me know. But this is the way I've always done it. It seems to work good, but it's kind of labor intensive. So if y'all, I'm all about easier, better, faster. So if y'all know a way, let me know. Let that hang up and dry. And now to the tops and the bottom. And if you notice, there's some dust and dirt in here. That's kind of a sign that this didn't seal perfectly, but last race was kind of dirty, so a lot dustier. The more dust you have, the more intrusion you have inside, and you don't want that dirt getting inside your motor. So we're gonna make sure that we got a good seal when we go back together with all this stuff. But also when you're washing these things, is that you really inspect it well to make sure there's no bends or anything crazy happening that's going to give you problems while you're on the track. There's enough crazy stuff that happens on the track. You don't need something that's preventable. And these O-rings, I've been looking and looking, and I can't find them anywhere. I've tried. They're either too fat or not big enough around, or there's always something. You get close and never can find the perfect one. All right, put this up on the drying rack. When everything gets dried up real good, we'll come back and oil the air filter. We'll put it back together. We'll grease this O-ring here, and we'll get it ready to go back on the car. So the next thing on the list is going to be repairing this deck. I got a couple of rivets that popped out. Shouldn't be no big deal really. It's just real loose right here. Try to get a couple rivets in here, hold this down, and then we'll be good to go on that. So that's done. Easy day. That should be good to go until it vibrates back loose. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get the car fueled up to, I got 10 gallons of the E85. We're gonna go ahead and put that in there. That way we ain't gotta worry about it when we get back. So, because like I say, I got very limited time when I get back before we race. So this thing needs to be done today. Open the bonnet here. Got a fuel stick that tells me, oh man, how much fuel is in it. Had to put my right hand on it that time. And so each of these marks right here is 5 gallons. And it was about right here, so if I put 10 gallons, it's going to be a little bit above the full mark, but I still got some room up here for a couple extra gallons, and it's going to be completely topped off. So doing it that way, I probably don't even have to put any fuel in it when we're at the track. So I'm just going to go ahead and just top her on off, and then we'll be good on fuel. fuel, it's about 7 pounds per gallon, so I'm going to be adding around 65-70 pounds to this car too, so that'll help me make weight. And this E85 smells straight like corn liquor. I ain't even lying. But I wouldn't recommend drinking it. Woo! Yep. Corn liquor. And here we go with the last 5 gallons. Whoops. Good thing about it, the more you pour, the lighter it gets. Getting hungry. What y'all having for lunch today? And 10 gallons. Let's look at the old fuel gauge and see how much we got. Alright. Like what I was in the shirt. It's fine. Alright. And it's about right here on the stick. So we are topped off, ready to go. So our next challenge is we're gonna have to start working on the tires that we're gonna run. It's gonna be a pretty long process, but got to do it. So let me go get the tires. We're gonna bring them over here and get started on it. So got all the tires over here, and let me show you what I'm gonna be doing. These tires, you gotta have a pretty deep coin purse to get all 4. They're pretty expensive, but if you notice on these tires, this is the inside of the right front, this is the outside, and you notice how this part of the block gets rounded off, and then this hardly has any wear on it on that very outside of the tire, and this one's got quite a bit of rub and wear on it. And what I'm going to be doing, taking this tire, and I'm going to turn it around, flip it like that, and that'll put this to the inside edge, and it'll put these sharper edges to the outside, and that way to dig in the dirt better. Same thing with this left rear. See, the left rear you can see really good. It's got a good feather to it, and that feather, that sharp edge right here, this is the outside of the left rear, and this is the inside of the left rear, because the left rear is sliding across the track this way, so it makes the rubber peel up this way, just like that, just feather up like that. So what I'm going to do, take it, flip it, put the sharp edge to the outside. That way that sharp edge will dig into the track better, and it'll give me a little bit more life out of this tire. Even the left front, you can notice on the left front, so this is the outside of the left front, inside of the left front, and the left front sliding across the track that way, this way, like that. So that's peeling up this edge of the blocks. So I'm going to flip it, put the sharp edge to the outside, easy peasy. Now this is the right rear, and as you can tell, this baby is no longer with us. I probably wouldn't get just a few more laps out of this thing, so I did have to bite the bullet and try to figure something out, and this is what I did. Brand spanking new right rear tire that I'm going to mount up, but got to get this one off first, put this one on, and then get it all mounted up and ready to go. Get the air pressures right, get the stagger right, because I want this tire to be bigger than this left rear by quite a few inches. So we're gonna get started on that, and I'm gonna speed you guys up so you don't have to bear with me going through all this process. always like to take the stickers off. I don't know why. I just don't want them on there. And then on the back side where it's going to pop onto the bead, I like to put some kind of lubricant on here to help it pop onto the bead. But you got to be real careful because they check for chemicals to help cheat these tires up. So you got to make sure that you just get it on the bead and don't get it on the tire, because if they check it and they found something on the tire, they're going to kick you out. So we're just going to spray a little light coat just around the bead here, because I would rather not die today, because I've seen some horror videos of these things not being lubricated properly and they will explode. So we just put a little light coat on there, and then we'll get the ring and make sure that the bead of the tire is in the lip of the rim. And the way I like to do that is because sometimes that bead of the tire get in between this retainer and the rim itself, and that's no good. So what I do is I like to push it down, and I'll run it down with my finger to help keep it in place, and I'll do that on 4 points in a cross pattern to make sure that it's, the bead of the tire is going to be in between the lock ring and the rim. And I always get these started a couple rounds so you don't crossbow them, because if you crossbow them, that's a bad day. I know it's nature's Loctite, guys, but come on, you're better than that. Then I just snug them down with the impact. You don't want to over tighten these, because they do have a very specific torque, and it's about 4 ugga-duggas on this thing. So I don't know what that translates into your impact, but just be mindful. Go in a crisscross star type pattern. I'm sure there's a torque sequence, but as long as you get it kind of even, you're good to go. This is aluminum though, so it'll bend and warp on you if you're not careful. Alright, for final torque, give them ugga-duggas. Okay, I'm back. This one, good and charged up. Got the 3 bars there. Now let's do the ugga-duggas. There we go. Did you hear that sound change? That tells me when it's tight. Like I say, you can't over torque them things and actually break the bolt off in there, and that's always a fun time when that happens. Alright, let's get some air, pump this thing up. Also got to get a tire gauge and a stagger gauge. When you're pumping these things up, what I like to do is, this one's a little bit hard to do because it's got some sealant in there, but what I like to do is just take this and go straight down on there, and you'll notice on this back part, you'll hear that pop on there when it gets good and seated. So let's see if we can make this happen. There we go. And you want to get your face as close as possible too. That way when it pops, it pinches the hell out of your teeth. Oh yeah, money didn't even pop. It's good and seated. Now we'll take this off. Let's take this. Yeah. Take that off. We check the air pressure. So it's got about 14 pounds in it right now. I don't want that much. I'm going to be looking around 10 pounds for this to check the stagger. So let's let some air out. Alright, so that's about 10 pounds there. Put the valve core in. It's at about 91 inches circumference. That's total around. So let's get started on that. So on these rims, there's a tall side and a short side. What you want to do is take the tire off from the short side. And if you look right here, you see where this indentation is on the rim. It's about 2.5 inches from the edge of the rim. But if you look on the back side, the indentation is down here, and it's a good 4.5 inches. So we want to break it loose from this side, then break it loose from this side, and pull it off, pull the tire off from that side, from this side. I have no fancy smancy tire machine, so it's all manual to get these tires off. Boom, off of there. Flip her over. These babies are on there. Whew. Man, if that baby's on there. Maybe a little slide juice. Can't hurt, right? Man, I might have to let it sit for a second. Man, this is being a booger. Alright, I had to grab another bead breaker. This one seems to be getting it a little bit better. Yeah. One time, all it took, and then the next time it popped out. So, tools make a difference too. Good Lord. Alright, let's get this tire off. And that's just, all I want to do is just flip it around. Manuel. I'll teach you guys a little secret on this one. A lot of people try to do it just like the front. But if you take this and flip it around and just hold just a little bit of pressure on it, get your spoon with the flat end, and just stab it down in there like that, and then just pry down rather, and just work your way around. Get it pop right off. Alright, you see how these beads are dirty? I'm going to clean them up with a rag and some WD-40 so they'll pop on. This side was on the outside of the rim. This was on the inside. Now we're going to make this on the inside of the rim and this the outside. So first thing we want to do is get these beads clean so they seal. Make sure there ain't no dirt or anything in them. just like I say, just a light coat of lubricant. Some people use like soapy water, which is fine. I just always use WD-40 because it's convenient. And you just push it on your rim. Make sure that baby's popped out at the bottom. And like I say, just a little bit of WD on the bead of the rim where it slide on there. And we just push it on there. Make sure the sidewalls are popped out like that. Get a little flat, and that'll kind of help get the air going into it. This area right here, don't never put your finger down there in case it pops. But this area right here is what I'm waiting on to pop onto the bead. Alright, I gotta get some air on that compressor. There it goes. Right by itself. I wouldn't even put the air in. Perfect. Alright, let's put the air out. I want it down to about 6 pounds of pressure. Where's my rag at? Try to get some of this chemical off there. So I'm going to repeat this process with the left front and the right front, but it's the same deal. The left front is the same type of rim this is. The right front's got a bead lock on it just like the right rear, so we'll get started on that. Maybe it won't be as bad as this one. Probably will be. So we got all the tires swapped over, flipped around, got a new right rear shoe on it. Final check, swap tires and fill it with fuel. So all we have to do now is load up and go to the racetrack, which I can do that when we get back. I do have to put the fenders on and get the tires put on there. But other than that, we are good to go. So I can do all that when I get back from my work trip. And I think it's gonna do it for this video. So I appreciate all you guys watching, and please like and subscribe and hit the bell. And next time that you see us, hopefully we are going to be racing at Nemore Speedway. It's probably going to be a hot one out there, so we're definitely going to have to bring plenty of Gatorades and waters out there with us. But thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.